Greetings and thank you for joining us for yet another video update on Bitcoin. According to the daily time frame, the chart of Bitcoin remains in the same position as it was before. Although there have been no developments in this area, we are on the verge of witnessing a possible breakthrough. When I term breakout point, I should not do so since it is possible that we'll only slightly overshoot and then come back down again. However, the preceding swing high, which is the high for the year 2024, is situated at near 49,000. Therefore, a break above that level has the potential to boost it to the 50,000 region. In addition, the point is that at the present, and this is still my opinion, we're only seeing a three-wave move to the upside. To be clear, this does not imply that it's bearish. Certainly not at all. I really do hope that wasn't the impression that was given. However, this indicates that there is still a possibility that we will fall back into the yellow support zone. It is essentially two wave counts that we are focusing on here at the moment where we are located. To clarify, once more, if the amount is less than 35,000, I need to adjust myself. However, as long as we are able to maintain a price above 35,000, we can just forget about what lies beneath. The threshold that would make the current major thesis significantly less likely is the $35,000 level, which is roughly the threshold. As of right now, I am operating on the idea that this is the white structure that is being revealed. The conclusion of that wave 4 occurred either on this location or on the 23rd of January. Until the market demonstrates that this is not the case, that is the primary scenario that I am considering at the time. By examining the support levels on the hourly chart, we are able to determine when this is demonstrated to be true. To clarify, I'm referring to the fact that this Wave 4 is still in the process of developing with regard to the daily time frame. In spite of this, the white count is the primary thesis. Okay, so from a trading perspective, it doesn't really make a difference whether the fourth wave has already been completed or is still in progress. Primarily from the perspective of the trend, because as long as we continue to maintain the 35K level, this is the level that is significant for this assumption for this wave count. As a matter of fact, the wave count on the daily will only change below 35,000. I would not consider it bearish if I were to permit a more significant pullback within the context of an overall upward trend. Therefore, I'm currently viewing that 35K is the most important criterion. Furthermore, unless we get a 5-wave move up, we have a range here. This is a literal statement. We are currently trading within a range that can be traded between support, which is located here, and resistance, which is where we are at the moment. With that being said, we do have a trading range, and it is possible that it will continue to do so for a considerable amount of time. Also, there are a great deal of correction patterns that might be incorporated into this. Only when we have 5 waves, and I'm not sure whether people realize this, but monitoring for 5 waves is mostly for the goal of ensuring that we receive 5 waves. We do not experience a change in range until we have received 5 waves. Mostly due to the fact that that is what we do when we receive 5 waves. Moreover, we are keeping an eye out for the subsequent 3-wave pullback, okay, and after that, we will have a different support area that will serve this location, and as we make our way up the stairs, we are experiencing a different range of motion. No matter how high we go, it won't really make a difference. As long as we encounter only 3 waves, with regard to this primary support level, we are still bound. As a result, we are observing 2 different situations or potentials on the shorter time frame that is under consideration inside this primary thesis. In addition, the white subway building is utilized in the principal scenario. There are 5, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Additionally, in the orange one, the wave 4 is still developing, and we are dealing with a structure that is composed of an A, B, and C. In addition, if we take a look at the shorter time period, you will be able to visualize the wave count in greater detail here. That will be the chart for 1 hour. The assistance area is visible to you. In addition to that, we can observe the detailed wave count as well as various micro support levels. As you can see, the white count should still possibly show 2 more highs. This is something that we should observe. With the exception of the orange and the white count, the subdivision in this case is exactly the same. Consequently, I have not singled them out individually. The fact that they are identical to one another indicates that the movement that occurred from the low on the 23rd of January to the high on the 30th of January was either in a wave or a wave 1. There was either a B wave or a wave 2 that caused the pullback. And at this moment, I am keeping an eye out for a C wave or a third wave that is ascending. The subdivision reveals that we have only finished 3 waves from the beginning. In point of fact, there are a great deal of different methods in which something might be categorized. Therefore, you should be aware that there is always the possibility that there is another one buried in this area. In general, I make an effort to keep to what is obvious, and this indicates that there is a possibility of one more 4 or 5 pattern. If we take a look at it, visually, from the perspective of a Fibonacci extension, this structure in orange, BC, may be considered to be finished. In general, we say that EC wave reaches when it reaches. That is the only target besides the first one, right? On the other hand, it often reaches the level of 100 extension. Moreover, I believe that was accomplished as early as the previous week. That's right, we're at 47,565, right? To begin, however, it is important to note that the CI wave should be the leg to the upward as well as a BB and C. In most cases, a C wave is produced by a 5-wave move, and I have not yet been able to count 5 waves. I can see a 1, a 2, and a 3, but there is still a 4 and a 5 that is missing. It is important to note that the 100 extension level is merely the initial objective. When the frequency is set to 51.5, a C wave can readily extend to the 1.236 extension or even the 1.618 extension. In light of this, I ask that you please be present. Therefore, we have accomplished the bare minimum of what was expected of us. But the C wave is not yet completely full. It is possible for it to turn around, but that does not mean it cannot. However, there is still the possibility of reaching still another peak. To put it another way, it is not yet a time to be, it is time to be, maybe cautious. To trade the move up, if you bought down there in the box, you would be able to do so. Clearly, we are currently barely below the level of resistance, and the B wave, at the very least, I believe that we should notice another pattern consisting of 4 and 5. However, keep in mind that it is always possible for it to be WC. I want to emphasize that this is not the major scenario or anything else that I am particularly keeping an eye out for at the time. It is possible that the low and the top are already in place in a Wexy pattern. This is due to the fact that the move up here would only be a 3-wave motion. There is a distinction between an ABC situation in which the CU wave is a 5-wave move and a WWXE situation in which we essentially require one more high wave. It is impossible to tell if it is Wexy. It is always possible for it to fail early. Nevertheless, we are keeping an eye on the support zone precisely because of that aspect. And my first indicator that there is actually a lasting top on, not a lasting top, but a big top in east the B wave is in. Maybe something more negative, but definitely the B wave. That's where I'm following. Would be a break below 44,660 below micro support. This would be the first indication that I would be watching market activity. Moreover, this would be a sign that we are approaching the arrival of wave C. It is possible to keep track of both the orange count and the white count until that time comes, because in both cases, we would anticipate witnessing at least one additional high. It appears that we are still in this wave 3 here, wave 3 in white or wave 3 in wave 3 of 3 in white or wave 3 of C in orange. This is the case in the very short term that we are currently in. Nevertheless, I am unable to rule out the possibility of additional extensions higher within an ascending wedge pattern or possibly a price channel. In fact, it takes a break below this, which is something that is new below this structural support here, which is the prior swing low, the wave 4 low of the lower degree. Around 46,000.